This is a woodchuck. Hey everybody, and now it's time for a tongue twister. All right, repeat after me. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Let's look at the vocabulary. First, you have wood. Wood is the material from trees that we build things with. You could have a wooden table or a wooden chair, or some people start a fire with wood. Next, we have a little animal, a woodchuck, also known as a groundhog. Every February 2nd in the United States is Groundhog Day. Next, we have to chuck something. To chuck something means you're throwing it. So here, see, I have my marker. I'm chucking my marker. See, I have my Post-its. See my Post-its? I'm chucking the Post-its. See, I have my scissors. All right, I'm not checking my scissors, but you got it. To chuck, it means to throw something. There's a newer slang expression. People say to yeet. To yeet also means to chuck, to throw. All right, so let's put these together to make a tongue twister. So, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? All right, let's go a little faster. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You got it? Faster. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? All right. 5 times fast. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah! Take that, woodchuck! Yeah! You got this, woodchuck. Whew, that felt good. So, every February 2nd is Groundhog Day, or I guess it'd be a woodchuck's day too. And we have a very famous groundhog. He lives in Pennsylvania called Puxatawny Phil. So the legend is, if the groundhog comes out from his hole after sleeping all winter, we call that hibernation when you sleep all winter, and if he sees his shadow, then we get 8 more weeks of winter weather. So, because the groundhog will see his shadow and he'll run back in his hole, or that's what they say. And so let's answer the question. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. Woodchuck's kind of a small animal. I don't think he can chuck that much wood. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me below in the comments. Let's do it one last time. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah! All right, I will see you next time. Happy Groundhog Day. And this has been Charles with Who's the Teacher?